Alright, hey there, and welcome back to yet another episode of Snag. And today we are going to be going over 10 unspoken rules when it comes to fishing. Alright, so firstly, as a disclaimer, these are not like written in stone. Like I said, they're unspoken, unwritten rules. These are just common courtesy rules that pretty much everyone who's been fishing pretty much knows and lives by. And this is a video more for new fishermen and maybe even some experienced fishermen who just probably got away from the basics and all that. Alright, now this is mostly for those who fish on the bank, but I might drop one for those who fish on the boat, because obviously the rules are slightly different. But at the end of the day, they're very, very similar. Alright, so we're going to start off with number 10. Alright, so rule number 10, respect the lane. Alright, I feel that pretty much goes without saying. Respect the land. I feel, for example, let's say you see a spot across the lake. Ooh, there's nice shaded areas. It looks deep. I feel this would be a real nice area, but there's no way to get to it. Don't go hacking stuff down and cutting down trees and doing all that just so you could try to get to a spot. At the end of the day, there are fish all over the lake. If you can't catch fish where there's an opening, you can't catch fish. Switch your bait, try something new, move to a new lake, but don't go cutting down stuff. There are fish all over the lake. There's not just a honey hole and you have to cut stuff down to get to it. Respect the lane, alright? Okay, rule number 9, alright? Don't kill what you don't eat. This goes without saying. This is big with fishing, hunting, pretty much anything like that. Don't kill what you don't plan to eat, or don't kill what you don't plan to use. For example, if you see a bass and let's say you catch you a bass, you reel it in, don't just leave it out the water and let it flop around and pretty much suffocate to death if you don't plan to eat it. Right? If you're gonna keep it and you're gonna eat it, that's okay. Or let's say you catch some bluegill, maybe you want to use those as live bait. Okay, that's understandable. It's common. I understand that. But don't go out, let's say get a cast net, catch 50 bluegill, cut them all up, and then try to catch them, and then whatever you don't, you just kick back in the water because, oh well. No, that's just disrespectful, alright? Pretty much treat them humanely. If you're going to use live bait and stuff like that, catch one or two, use them on your rods. Once those are gone, catch a couple other ones. It's not that hard to catch little small ones and stuff like that. Don't overdo it and try to catch all of them, kill all of them. No. Just be respectful to the land, be respectful to the fish. Don't kill what you don't plan to eat, and don't kill what you don't plan to use. Self-explanatory. Rule number 8, and this is more than just an unspoken one. This is a spoken one. You'll probably see it on all types of signs and everywhere. Do not bring invasive species into another water. All right, I'll say that again. Do not bring invasive species into another body of water. I'm going to say that one more time. Do not bring invasive species into another body of water. Alright? If you want to catch pike and the lake by your house doesn't have pike, do not bring pike into that water. Go to a place where you can catch pike. If you want to catch bass and your lake doesn't have bass, don't bring in bass. Go to where you can. That goes for the small ones too. Maybe you have a little small perch and maybe your lake doesn't have that. Maybe you like to catch shad instead of bluegill. Don't bring that. Or maybe you go and get live baits, and then when you're done, you just dump them in the water. Don't do that, because it doesn't take much for one or two small invasive species to run rampant and then take everything over. So please, 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 do not bring other fish and other wildlife to a different body of water. It can ruin that whole body of water as a whole. Just don't do that, please. Number 7. This one is really big for the newcomers and even some of those who've been fishing for a long time. And that's no complaining, alright? Fishing is supposed to be very relaxing, very joyous, very calming. Don't just complain over and over again like, oh, my line's getting stuck, or I'm getting caught in a tree, or it's too hot, there's no fish in this water, stuff like that. Don't do that. If you're not having a good time, get your stuff and go. Don't sit there and complain, because that negative energy and all that, it could really bring and ruin somebody else's time. Some people barely have time to fish. Maybe they get 1 or 2 times a month, and your complaining can ruin it for them. Just be courteous and keep the complaining to a minimum, especially if you're going out with a friend. If you're new and you're going out with a friend, obviously, yes, they're trying to teach you the ropes and stuff like that, but don't just sit there and complain. Don't be afraid to ask for help, but don't overbear and complain. All right. So this one isn't really a rule as much as it is just something I feel people should know, and it's that other anglers are your friends. And what that means is that other people out there fishing are should be treated just the same way you treat your friends. They're out there trying to have a good time just like you are. So don't be out there trying to be rude, be mean, and stuff like that. They're trying to have a good time. You're trying to have a good time. Don't be afraid to strike up conversation. There's nothing to ask them. Hey, how you doing? Any luck? You caught anything? What's the biggest you've caught? What are you using? Stuff like that. And you'll be surprised. Like, everybody out there is so friendly. They're just trying to have a good time. Almost nobody out there is going to be mean. People at the lake are probably some of the nicest people you'll meet. And they'll probably be some of the most helpful. That's probably what you're going to learn. In fact, I think some of the best baits I've ever gotten was from other anglers. Like, I've traded baits. Hey, they've given me baits. I've given them baits. And I think my first major fishing season, where I was catching a whole bunch of stuff, whole bunch of bass. Like, I was catching 13 like quarter pounders, half pounders a day. But to me, that was still very fun. I was catching a bunch of them, and that's because another angler came over there. He's like, hey, try these. These work very well out here. Gave me some baits. Phenomenal baits. I never would have bought those before in my life. But now if I see them, hey, this is definitely something I'll try. So it's stuff like that. Anglers are your friends. That's how you make connections, learn about different baits, learn about different waters. Don't be afraid to strike a conversation and try to enjoy yourself. All right, and number 5 is be mindful of your surroundings. And now, obviously, this goes a long way and sometimes outside of fishing. But whenever you're fishing, especially when you're casting, be mindful of your surroundings. Because if you got a bunch of overhang trees, obviously casting overhead is not going to be that well. You got a people to your side, obviously casting to your right and to your left isn't going to be that well. And the reason I say that is because I have been hooked by other people. Or I've seen people get stuff stuck in trees that they're just like, no, I really wanted this lure, stuff like that. So be mindful of your surroundings. Don't just go out there casting willy-nilly. Also, another thing, this doesn't apply solely to casting. This also goes to things like your noise level. Like for me, sometimes if I go walking to the lake, I'll play some music because I like listening to music when I'm walking. Well, I know when I get to the lake, I need to turn my music down. Or if I'm out there and I'm near other people, I need to turn my music down and be courteous, because for them, maybe they like utter silence when they fish. Maybe they don't. It's really like a common courtesy thing, because you don't want to ruin somebody else's experience by doing that. Obviously, turning your music down and turning it off may not be what you prefer to do, or maybe not being as loud with your actual dialect may not be something you want to do, but it's not going to hurt you. It's not going to ruin your experience. Oh, I couldn't listen to music, so now I can't fish. No, all right? You're out there to have a good time. If somebody asks you to be courteous, just go along with it. All right? Be aware of your surroundings. That's both for the people and the land. Number 4. All right. Number 4 is there is no assigned spots. Say it with me. No assigned spots. One more time for the people in the back. No assigned spots. All right? Let's say you like fishing at point A, and point A is your honey hole. Every time you fish at point A, you come out with a 3-pounder, 5-pounder, 10-pounder, and you love it. Every time you go there, you're fishing it. One day, you go there, and spot A is taken. Nothing you can do about it. Don't go over there and try to be a bully. Hey, this is my spot. You need to move. Or I've always fished here. I've been fishing here for 15 years. You need to move. Stuff like that. No, because chances are you're probably not going to get your spot. All you're going to do is just harass somebody else and just bother them and ruin their time. You got to think about it. What if you're fishing, you're out there trying to have a good time. Maybe this is your one day off, and the last 3 months, maybe you're fishing because your granddad just passed away. He used to always take you fishing, and this is where you guys used to go. And you're just fishing, and somebody comes up to you and tries to mean mug you out of a spot. Like, don't be disrespectful. There are no assigned spots. There's plenty of water. There's plenty entry points to the water. Don't try to take someone else's spot because that's where you want to be and that's just how you feel. This is what it needs to be. No assigned spots. All right. If you want to fish there, wait for them to leave. Keep a close eye on it. Move somewhere else. Enjoy your fishing. Keep a close eye on that spot. When they leave, go for it. Maybe you can even ask them, "Hey, I always fish here. Do you mind if I fish here with you?" They may say yes, and that's cool. But if they say yes, respect their spot. Don't try to bully and take over. If they say no, keep it pushing. Keep moving. No assigned spots at the lake. All right? First come, first. Rule number 3, which goes hand in hand with rule number 4, is do not spot snipe. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is, spot sniping is pretty much you see somebody catch a fish and then you rush over there and get real close to them, or you come over there and try to take their spot while they're taking their fish off. Like, that is very, very annoying. Like, I've caught fish and I was taking it off, I was taking a picture, and then by the time I try to put my fish back in the water and I turn around and cast, there's somebody like right there casting, like that line is literally where I just was. Or maybe, hey, I just seen a fish right here. Don't run over there and try to dip your line in the water and try to take it. Like, come on. Like, I've had that happen. In fact, my brother has done that to me plenty of times, and it's very annoying. To where, hey, I just seen a fish in this area. Oh, let me go over there and put my pole over there. No. Now, it's different if they say, hey, I just seen a fish over here. Stick your pole right here so we can at least try to catch it because I want to see how big it really is, or something like that. Okay, that's different. Or, hey, a fish just came your way. Hurry up, put your pole in this side of the water, so on this side, that's a little bit different. But it's not just, oh, I see them catch one, I want to go over there to their spot. Or they heard a splash and they seen this, they saw that, so I'm going to go stick my pole over there. I'm going to try to cast where they're casting. That's just disrespectful. It's mad annoying. Don't do it. Don't do it. Alright, rule number 2, and that is don't stand next to another person's spot. If you haven't noticed, spots are very important in fishing. People don't play about their spots. Now, like I said, number 4, there are no assigned spots, but people don't play about their spots. Somebody's there, respect that they beat you there, and let it go. There are no assigned spots. Don't go standing right next to somebody because you want that spot. That is a no-no. Don't do it. Alright? Alright, so before we get to rule number 1, this is an honorable mention that I kind of thought of a little bit late, but I still think it is important to be said. It needs to be said. And that is, be mindful of your pole count. Alright? Like I said, yes, it's a big lake, and yes, you can fish anywhere, but don't be taking out there with 6 poles and casting everywhere and stuff like that. 2 poles, 3 poles max. Really, you don't need more than 2. You can get a stationary one and one that you constantly retrieve in. But don't be out there trying to take a bunch of poles and doing all that. That's just too much, alright? It's not needed. It's just a waste. It's too much. It's taking up space. Don't be that guy with 6 poles, especially because some people take out 6 poles and still don't catch nothing, alright? You only need 1 pole. 2, I understand. 3 is pushing it. No more than 3. Now, the last rule, the most important rule, and no, it's not have fun. Obviously, you want to have fun, but the most important rule is to clean up behind yourself. All right? Obviously, people want to go out there and have a good time, but make sure that you take all your stuff home with you. Don't be leaving out trash and leaving out extra line, spools of line, and stuff like that. If you take it with you, make sure when you leave, you take it with you. All right? Bring it out there. Take it with you. I understand sometimes people forget things. I understand, hey, maybe you may drop something, not realize it. I understand that. But don't just be like, oh, well, don't need this line. I'm going to cut it and leave it. No. Now, I understand maybe sometimes you cut your line and it gets stuck in the water. That's different. But anything that you can't control and that you can clean up, make sure you clean it up, even if it's not yours. Just keep the lake clean so that when you go there, you can enjoy it and other people can enjoy it. That's it. Alright? Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That right there is just 10 important rules that are pretty much unspoken in the fishing community, but I feel needed to be said so that new people and some older people who've been fishing for a while who just forgot about it should remember. Alright? I promise you everything I spoke about is something that I firmly believe in, so please make sure that you follow these rules. Granted, they're not written down and you can fish however you want to, but this just makes it better for you, for pretty much everybody out there. All right, enjoy your time, get on the water, but overall, it all comes down to being respectful and being courteous of others. With that being said, I'll see you next time.